sur ma chaîne, welcome to my channel. Today I have a highly requested video on these two bags. We have the Louis Vuitton Monogram All-In PM and we have the Louis Vuitton ALLIN Neverfull MM. Wow, these two bags are very similar and people are always trying to find Neverfull alternatives. So I'm going to go through the pros and cons with you today. I've had many Neverfulls. I've had probably over 5 Neverfulls in my life. So I'm really experienced with the Neverfull to why this bag may be good or may be bad for you and why I got this bag. This is probably one of the most popular Louis Vuitton bags in the entire world. This one not so much, but one of the best alternatives that I personally recommend to everyone who is looking at a tote or who's looking at an alternative to the Neverfull. This bag you see here is probably the most replicated, counterfeited bag in the entire fucking universe, in the entire world. It is so common. And I say common, it's oversaturated, but it's so lightweight, functional, everyday, large bags. And you can see why. Like it's very light, it's very smushy, it's got lots of uses and it comes in 3 sizes. So what are the cons? What's the problem? I've had so many Neverfulls, right? For like 5 I think is plenty of Neverfulls. I know there's bitches out there with like 100, but this is a brilliant bag, okay? I'm not going to knock the Neverfull. Okay. So I've had both the MM and the GM at different times. I found the MM a little small. What I don't like about this bag is it's so short. A lot of the time my laptops and my books would be sticking out the top. I hated it. Also when it's stuffed, even though I'm thin, it's not a comfortable handle drop for me, because when it's stuffed and then you have your book sticking out here, it's not like I have all this room. Essentially have just a little bit of space, add a thick winter parka to that or a thick full jacket, it's very uncomfortable. Plus these thin straps, only comfortable if you don't fill your bag up too much. If you stuff your bag like I did for school, your back's going to be fucking suffering, and mine was. My back was absolutely suffering when I had the Neverfull MM for school, and I never get backaches. I've never had backaches my entire life, and I only first started getting them when I was carrying the Neverfull. So even though these straps, yes, they're durable, if you stuff the bag too much and the bag is very heavy, it's going to kill your back. These drawstrings on an MM, totally useless in most cases, because to cinch the bag gets very small. It is cute if you go clubbing and stuff like that, but most of the time people do not use this bag to make it smaller. They use it because they like the size when it's uncinched and open. It's not a huge bag, but it's not a small bag, so people do like it. It's a great tote around carry bag, but like I said, if you've got a lot of books and things like that, you've got the trim. It doesn't matter what kind of leather your Neverfull is. Eventually you're going to get some creasing, perhaps some cracking. With leather trim and piping, you can get peeling and things like that, curling sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but often it does happen, especially with overtime. It just happens because you've got these thinner pieces of leather that are lining the top of the bag. And you'll see on like used Neverfulls, especially with the Vachetta, that there'll be like abrasions, almost holes at the very top because things get scuffed up. That's another thing to consider. Sometimes these drawstrings, if you get them caught on something and they rip, you're gonna have to get them replaced. I never had a problem with that. I've never broken any of my drawstrings. I'm quite careful with my bags, but it's just an extra thing you have to consider. I'm not gonna go into patina because if you guys know me, I'm not a patina phobe, and there's ways you can treat your Vachetta so you have weatherproof even patina. Patina phobia is completely absurd and asinine to me. I'm going to make another video just about patinophobia. For all of you crazy bitches out there. Another thing I didn't like, the base is kind of short, right? It's like a wedge shape. The top is wider than the base. So often when I put my laptop in, even when I had an 11-inch laptop, it was exceeding the length of the base. So it was kind of augmenting the bag. So there's a lot of things, especially when you put books and binders, laptops, your bag is going to be in a funny shape a bit. It's going to kind of square out a bit, because a lot of the time your things, your books, binders, laptops are going to be wider than the length of this base. And I hated that as well. So I felt like the wasn't large enough for me. The GM was also a good size, but I felt like it's one of those bags where if it's not stuffed, it's just very huge and gapey and floppy, right? Some girls love that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I like a little bit of structure. So I actually didn't have the GM for too long. I also found the GM a little short for some things. It is taller than this bag, but still it's just one of those shapes where I think it suits things over like books and things like that. Like GMs obviously are way better for school. If I were to recommend a Neverfull for someone that's going to uni or college, GM for sure, just because you have all those long rectangular items, that's going to be so awkward in the The really is not a big bag. I say it's a little smallish medium size. So yes. Okay, this is a wonderful, wonderful bag. I've never had issues with this bag, and I think it's absolutely perfect. And the handle drop is longer than the Okay, so that's a pro. Because the handles on the ALLIN are thicker, look how thick they are, much more comfortable on your back. I stuffed this bag when I went to London for a week for induction at my school, and no back issues at all. I was so impressed with this bag. I even wanted the because this is the PM, this is a smaller version. And also because of the way it's stitched, it's very flat, and it's got a zipper. So that's another worry of people with Neverfulls, is there's no security. There is one zippered pocket on the inside. Okay, that goes all the way down to the bottom. Right, you're going to see the difference. It's got a sturdy zipper. So already the zipper was such a huge winning factor to me. And the ALLIN is a bit taller, and because of the way it's designed, when you put stuff in the bag, it dips lower inside because there's no structure like the With the you're not going to get that much dip. Even though the ALLIN is slightly taller than the Neverfull, it makes a huge difference. Like, it actually covers my books and things like that. Because of the design of it, the way it's cut, I think things go deeper into the bag. I think there's more room at the bottom where things sink in. The also has just one pocket. They are pretty much the same size. They pretty much have the same size of pocket. So even though this doesn't go all the way to the bottom, they're the same size because this is a taller bag. What I like about the ALLIN over the Neverfull, no leather trimmings, no piping, no leather accents, no leather drawstrings, none of that extra stuff on the bag. It's simple, it's chic. The ALLIN is heavier, it's slightly heavier than the Neverfull but not by much. But sturdier straps, it's just a chicer looking bag in my opinion. You don't see many people with it. It's not common or oversaturated as the Neverfull. And you get this beautiful shape. I think the shape is absolutely lovely. They're kind of similar in shape when the ALLIN is puffed out, as it should be. They're very similar. But I really love the edging, the clean, crisp, flat edging of the ALLIN. And it comes with a luggage tag because it's technically a luggage piece. It's actually a travel, it's supposed to be a travel tote, which is why it only comes in the 2 sizes. It doesn't come with a tiny little PM. Oh, this is the PM. Basically, this is the PM. This is the small size. It's not supposed to be a small bag, so they made the PM very, basically an MM size. The MM is absolutely massive. So we can try these on. So I'm 5'6". Such a lightweight bag, it feels like almost nothing. I think that's why people just love it. It's a very quick grab and go bag. And if you like open, very open totes, no zippers, none of that fuss, and you don't mind having an open bag, and you're a girl that carries a lot of pouches and things like that, I can see why people love this bag, because it is very easy to use and it is very lightweight and easily throw it in anywhere and travel with it. It's not going to be damaged in any way. And the same goes for this bag. So we will try this one on. I just love this bag. Absolutely love it. So yes, my review will be biased. I think the Neverfull is a great bag for many people, but personally for me, too common, too oversaturated, too replicated, too counterfeited. The reason why it's oversaturated is, you know, it just contributes to the whole oversaturation because it is such a popular bag. And I'm not bashing people that get it. Don't take it personally. There's a lot of bags I like that people hate. I'm not going to be all pissy about it. Like, it's a handbag, guys. I'm not criticizing your personality. It's a handbag. But like I said, the Neverfull is just so common. I'm sick of seeing it. I really am. I can't leave the house without seeing a Neverfull. It's just so common. So I'm kind of over it. I've been into Louis Vuitton for you know, over 10 years, and I authenticate Louis Vuitton as a side job, and you know, Neverfulls are usually the biggest bag, you know, the most popular one that I authenticate, of course, because it's a Neverfull. I personally love things that are not so common. You don't see them every day. Chic, simple, elegant, understated. Definitely the ALLIN. And like I said, Neverfull has its purpose, it has its place. And it's great that people love it and they get good use out of it and it suits their lifestyle. That's great. But like I said, it killed my bag. It killed my bag, and that's one of the main reasons why I got rid of my Neverfulls and I won't be buying another one. There are so many nicer alternatives out there in my eyes, and the ALLIN is definitely one of them. and it was really nice having the zipper option when I was traveling. It fits under the airplane seat perfectly, and it just made a perfect travel bag. It really did. I could have gone up a size. I could have done with the as well. The PM is wonderful as well, but I noticed when I was traveling I did stuff it to the rim. With the it would have been, I would have had a little bit more room. It wouldn't have been so tightly, condensely packed, but it served my travels very well. And these straps are so comfortable. I can't get enough. I can't rave about these straps enough. And you get the cute chaps from the Speedy, so you'll recognize the Speedy chaps, which is quite funny, isn't it? And it's the new style of chaps of the Speedy. When the Speedy changed the chap slightly, it's a bit raised, it's a bit puffy. The old chaps were very flat and the stitching was below the rivet. The new chaps, the stitching is above the rivet. Too bad this didn't come with like different interior colors, but you know what? They do have an all-in with red leather, and that's quite striking. And you can get like the matching keyboard. They have a keyboard 45 that matches that red. As I've mentioned, the cons of the Neverfull with the peeling and the leather trim and stuff like that, cracking, things like that because of the leather trimmings. The only con I see with the all-in, because of the design inside, let me show you. The design inside, it's stitched right here. You see? It's stitched right here at the side. It's so it can cave in like this when it's flat. So the stitching on the inside is higher. It's up here on each side. So when you put stuff in, it stresses that part. So you're going to get a little bit of wear on the glazing on the outside, but it's no big deal, deal at all. And you can buy like rubber glazing on eBay and do it yourself without having to pay an extortionate amount to Louis Vuitton to do it for you. I've seen girls do it and it's really easy. You can buy this stuff and just paint it over and it just kind of seals it. So, and I'm really shocked. I thought, you know, nothing on the bottom of the bag and these sharp pieces, but I've placed this bag everywhere. I try not to ever put up my bags on the pavement, but I've put it down on floors, you know, in the airport, in the airplane, things like that. And look at the condition of them. It's really durable. It's such a durable bag. There's no peeling or cracking or fraying or damage to these sharp little corners, which I thought there would be. So it's just a very well made bag and I highly recommend it. It's mostly canvas, so it's really quite a worry-free bag. The cons of the all-in as well, it only comes in monogram for now. I don't know if they'll ever come out with this bag and other types of canvas, but right now you're stuck with monogram and the brown interior. So it really does resemble old school, original, vintage Louis Vuitton, because they stuck with the original brown interior canvas, which is also beautiful. You know, the vachetta, the monogram, and the simplistic design, it does resemble some of the vintage pieces from the early or mid 1900s that Louis Vuitton had out. Kind of reminds me of my Luca bag. Here's my Louis Vuitton Luca tote. I forgot to add it in to my video yesterday. But I use this bag quite often actually. It's heavy though, because it's one of the original Louis Vuitton pieces where they used super thick heavy canvas, super thick micro suede lining. It's a thinner bag, so it's great for like everyday quick errands and things like that, or even when I go like meet my beau for like overnight. It's perfect. It also has a zipper on the top, so that's what I mean that I feel like they grabbed inspiration from the Luco, and there's other totes like the Luco that Louis Vuitton made around the same time, but this is so much lighter because Louis Vuitton has stopped using a lot of the canvas and the double linings and all this and that. like very thick linings. There's just a lot of enforcement in this bag. And look, just more pieces. There's an extra piece of canvas at the bottom, and there's just more stitching, just more stuff going on with this bag, so it's going to be heavier. The more stuff you do to it, the heavier it's going to be. But look how similar, right? But this is such a classic tote. I love the Luco so much. It would be a great travel bag as well. But you are more limited in capacity because it's a thin bag. But considering it's quite thin, it fits a lot. You can really stuff this bag up. But yeah, just saying, this is why it resembles a vintage piece, and it's beautiful. And with that, it's timeless, it's classic, it's elegant, and you can never go wrong with the ALLIN. And it's just unfortunate because, you know, as cool as the Neverfull is, everyone's got it, but I feel like it's a great starter bag. Like if you're just beginning your journey with Louis Vuitton and you want a first bag, you know, to start off with, I think is a great option. It's a great choice because it's just an easy to use, hassle-free bag, and more affordable than the ALLIN. That's a disadvantage of the ALLIN, is that it's a lot pricier than the Neverfull, especially in the second-hand market. It's still very expensive. It's not a cheap bag. So you get more canvas options with the Neverfull. You only have one canvas option with the ALLIN. You get thinner straps with the Neverfull. Some people love that, but mind your back. You get thicker straps with the ALLIN, but some people may not like this vintage kind of look, because the older totes also had big straps, like the Luco here. Because the older vintage totes also had thicker straps like the Luco here. And some people may not like that the bag can fold flat. I mean, I think it's a great feature. It's wonderful to store away, to pack away, to travel with. Like I would never put this obviously in my check-in, but carry-on luggage or whatever. I have my Cotopaxi backpack, which is great for travel. Stick it in the bag. It's perfect. Whereas if you had an Alma or something, you wouldn't be able to do that. That's why it's nice to have some of these floppy bags. And the Neverfull has that same advantage, is that it's so travel friendly. It's a great travel bag. It's great for flights as well. The GM is perfect. I have the GM, and you kind of have to smush it under the seat. Is also great, but the GM for flight travel is great because you can put a jacket in there, clothes, shoes. You can carry all these extra bits in the GM and you have more room. The is one of those bags where you're going to absolutely stuff it if you travel. Was a little similar with this, but when I traveled, I didn't actually have an extra bag. I literally just had this for the flight. Usually I would have like a key ball and this, you know what I mean? So considering I was able to fit everything in here, not bad at all. They do really have similar purposes, don't they? They are workhorse bags, they are totes. Tote bags are baby bags, school bags, work bags, beach bags, everyday workhorses. So they serve the same purpose, and I hope that I've been able to kind of help any of you gain a little clarity on each of these bags. Some people might like the look of these drawstrings, and some people actually would want... I used to cinch in my GM all the time. I never cinched in my but I cinched in my GM all the time because I love the shape of the GM when it's cinched. It's a lot more wedge-like. It's not so square. When you cinch the it becomes like a very square bag, but with the GM, it's got this beautiful, like almost like a bell shape when you cinch it in. I'm a big fan of the GM. I still love the GM, the Neverfull GM. You can never go wrong with classic monogram. I can understand some girls don't like classic monogram because they don't like all the logos, the LVs all over, and that's fair enough. But again, you're getting a timeless bag that will never go out of fashion, or you get a very trendy bag that will also never go out of fashion, but also it's so common, so common. And this is my issue with this bag as well, is that everyone has it. Everyone and their dogs have it. Nova has one. Right, so I could give you the measurements. Like, I do have a measuring tape here. I don't know if it's going to help much. Honestly, the best way to figure out what size you want is go into the Louis Vuitton store and check it out, feel it, hands on it, try it on, because you can read measurements and have people tell you measurements all day. It's very hard to just kind of visualize and conceptualize measurements sometimes when it's not in front of you. You'd be like, okay, well that's 7 inches, but you know, you're like kind of, okay, well the bag is kind of like this, but it's so different when you have it in front of you, and it wears differently, right? Doesn't matter what the measurements are, it's usually how it's stitched, the shape of the bag, how you wear it, etc. So the base of this bag, length is 12 inches. See, it's very short. Width, 6 inches. Height, 11.2 inches. So strap drop from the very top of the bag, 7.5 inches. Could put your book in this way, and it's okay. But sometimes I would put my books in this way because of the way I would pack my bag. Sometimes it was easier for me to put my book in this way. You could get sticking out at the top. Okay, that happens. See? Sticks out at the top. And that gets very, even taking a few inches off, like an inch or something off like that is a lot, especially if you've got jacket, blah, blah, blah. So just something to be mindful of. With the ALLIN, can't see it, disappears. Perfect, right? So, see that? And the zipper can still go over it. I really think it's because of the way the bag is designed, the way it's stitched. Even though they're very close in dimension. It's about 16 inches stretched out. Length of the base is 16. The length of the base of the Neverfull is 12. That's 4 inches longer. It's a lot when it comes to totes and bags. Height, a little over 12 inches. And the Neverfull is a little over 11 inches. So this bag, the strap drop or the handle drop is an inch longer than the Neverfull MM. The height is an inch taller than the Neverfull MM. And the length of the base is about 4 to 5 inches longer than the Neverfull MM. So you are getting a slightly bigger bag. And I've said this in my other video before, the ALLIN PM is kind of like a size in between the Neverfull GM and the Neverfull MM. So I hope I've helped you guys today in some way, at least gain a little bit more clarity on what bag you would like, whether the ALLIN will suit you as an alternative to the Neverfull, or whether you just love the Neverfull and you want to get it. It's trendy, it's in style, even though it's popular, it's just one of those bags, right? You can't go wrong with any of them. Louis Vuitton, when you get classic bags, I'm not talking about the gaudy, limited edition, sometimes they're so ugly, those bags, but when you get classic bags like these, even if they're oversaturated, you will never have a problem selling them, and they will go with every outfit and they will never go out of fashion. So that's why I love timeless and classic pieces, as you can never go wrong. Anyway, they make great investment pieces. So I hope you've enjoyed this comparison video today. If you have any questions whatsoever, anything that you would like to see for my next video, I am going to be producing more Louis Vuitton videos in the next coming weeks. Just leave a comment below and tell me what you think. What were your opinions on these two bags? What do you not like about the ALLIN or the Neverfull? What do you like about each bag? Tell me what you think. I would love to know. I love to hear people's opinions on things like this. So anyway, have a great night and see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye bye.